Peace, 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 blessings, blessings. My boy Ka, welcome. Wahab, Warhab, Ahlan, Asheo, Salam, Shalom. All those good greetings, man. How's everybody doing? Well, as you can see from the title, I'm going to do something here to bring in the New Year's. Just trying to see what's up here. I'm going to do something here. Oh, let me bring that down. Sorry. There we go. Just to see who comes on so I can address everybody properly. So I wanted to do something. This is just an intro of some 19 courses. Actually, I've taken the 19 courses and I got my certificate. And it's the 19 courses that deals with the African Federation. But let me show you something here. Let me share my screen real quickly here. Let me share my screen here. Let me see. Chrome tab. Let's see. Course list below. And let's share this. All right. You should be seeing this. Right? Yeah, you should be seeing that. Here we go. Okay. These are the courses. And these courses are from the African Kingdoms Federation. The African continent, the Kingdom of Sheba. Right? As you can read on, is the Royal Parliament headquarters of the African Kingdom Federation. And these are the courses. This is a website. It's a great website. You can go on there, get a lot of nice chat, members, and become a member. And it's great. You can join the group. These are what they call the World Peace Committee, United Nations sanctioned, and International Peace Guards. And so you have the Deputy President of the African Union. And so you have the bearer of this identification in representative of the Office of the World Peace Committee, the World Peace Committee to 202 countries that participate in this. So you have the Deputy President for the the African Union. You have His Excellency, the World President, this Excellency Professor Dr. Can't pronounce that, Juyoto Santani. And then you have also Her Imperial Majesty Queen Sheba Kasambu Ra, right? The third, the Queen of Sheba, all right? What they call the Queen of South. This is a list of the courses. And so as you can see, my email, is my email up there? Yes, it is. That's my email. These are the courses, and it deals with dynamics of existence, the components of understanding, how to resolve conflicts. Now, I've done some podcasts before about conflicts, and this is where I've gained a lot of this information. Also, the solution for dangerous environment, assist for illness and injury, integrity and honesty. Today, class was on that. We have a class on Wednesday, and I want to invite as many people that want to come on. They can sit in the class and discuss certain things, especially when it comes to these 19 courses. So this is integrity of honesty, marriage, emotional tone scales, answer to drugs, children, tools for the workplace, ethics and conditions, the cause of suppression, investigations, basic of organizing, fundamentals of public relations, targets and goals, the technology of study, communication. Okay. Again, so when you finish each one of these courses, you're going to get a certificate. And if you want to continue on to, inspire to be a crowned, gracias mi hermano, and to want to be a crown knight or an ambassador to the African Union, the Queendom, or to any tribe over there in Africa, where you can be appointed to, or the Caribbeans, and in America, you can go ahead and do so. You know what I'm saying? So you'll continue on. I'll give you more information. I left you my email there. Get to me an email if you're interested in this. You know what I'm saying? But in my podcast, what I'm going to do is I'm going to discuss certain points in each one of these classes. So you can wait till then. You know what I'm saying? If you like what you hear and if it's helping and benefit you, if it's benefiting you and your family, you know what I'm saying? And then you get at me. And then when we start going through the courses, you know what I'm saying? And as a queen, as a crown ambassador, also there is titles, there is appointment that is also offers salaries, you know, salaries and fundings if you're the type to do community work. So this is very good and important, you know, it's a good initiative that, you know, it's running. So for those of you who are interested. So I wanted to first speak on the dynamics of existence. Now, you know, we've spoken about this before. You got existence, you got subsistence, and you got being, which is space, matter, and time. This is the dynamic of existence. Now, the basic motivation behind all your actions and decisions is based on this. You know, you're wanting to exist, right? The 8 separate parts that make up your life and how each relates to others and how to confidently make the correct decisions in life. You know what I'm saying? I can attest to that. I have made so many mistakes. You know, as you can see in my intro, what it says there about, you know, when I look in the mirror, I see a lot of mistakes, a lot of things. You know, no, as I look past into my life, but when I look in the mirror, I see strength. You know what I'm saying? So this is all part of it. You know, when you deal with dynamics, I'll reuse some of this, and you tell me what you think about it. So the driving force behind all your actions and all your decisions, and the most important thing in your life is survival. It's to survive. Preservation, right? Survival. Very important. To survive means to remain or to continue in existence, to live, right? To live. Anything that's a contrary to that, if you go backwards, would be evil, right? You got live and you got evil, right? So this is the driving force behind everything. It's you wanting to survive life, you know, to continue in existence, to live. We call this driving force to survive an urge. Now, they use this in Scientology. They call it the urge. We have learned that there are 8 separate urges to survive. 8 separate urges, and we'll go into that. Maybe for this, I didn't want to stay that long, you know, because I just came from a 2.5 hour class course. Let me tell you. And then what time is it? 3:00. I want to do the chant. So let me see. Maybe if I can make it to 3 and then do the chant, and then we'll head out from there. So if you could bear with me. Aruhu. What's going on, my brother, my herbalist brother? What's going on? I got to get with you soon after the new year. And so to survive me, again, the 8 separate urges to survive. The 8 separate urges. This is the way they break it down. Even in Scientology, this is the way they break it down. Each one of these are called dynamic. Dynamic. Everything you do, every choice you make is driven by the urge to survive. Everything you do, you know what I'm saying, in your work. Just think about it. Everything you do, you want to survive. You want to preserve yourself, right? So the 8 dynamics represent different compartments in your life in which you are surviving. You know, they broke it down to 8. And I'm sure if you have other schools of thought that break it down even further and stuff. But this is dealing right now with this school of thought and also with Scientology, okay, in this school of thought. Now, the first dynamic is the urge to survive as an individual. It is the urge to be an individual and to reach to the highest level of survival by the longest possible time for yourself. You get that? Let me read that again. It is the urge. The first dynamic is the urge to survive as you. as an individual, right? An indivisible duality, the good and the bad. That's what I say individual, indivisible duality. But this individual, it is the urge to be an individual and to reach the highest level of survival for the longest possible time for yourself. For example, taking care of yourself, keeping your body clean, preserving your teeth, eating properly, taking those herbs. Now that my brother Aruhu is here, getting rest, and getting care when you are ill are all things you do to help you better survive on the first dynamic. So the first dynamic you're dealing with is yourself, right? It's the survival of yourself. And these things you do, you take care of yourself, your body, you preserve your teeth. You know what I'm saying? This is very important to survival. Now, the second dynamic is the urge to survive through future generation, right? Preservation, procreation, preservation. It has two parts, sex and the family, which includes the raising of children. That's the second dynamic, right? Again, survive through future generations, through sex and family, and it includes raising children. Now, the third dynamic is the urge to survive as part of a group. That's the third dynamic, is the urge to survive as part of a group. I'm sorry, let me go back here. Let me read the comments here real quickly. Brilliant, brother. Alex Rivera Hansu, my brother, my dear brother. Yes. Thank you very much. So the third dynamic, again, is the urge to survive as part of a group. For example, the people in your office, your school, your town, your nation, and even your football team or a musical group are all part of the third dynamic. Okay? So let's review real quickly. So you got the first, which is you, taking care of you. You got the second, which is your future generation, right? Your family or through sex. Then you got this third dynamic, which is your group. You know what I'm saying? The group you get involved, musical group, or the people that you involve yourself around. You know what I'm saying? Or your town, your nation, or even your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? The block you live in, The fourth dynamic is the urge to survive through, they say, mankind or man or humanity, I would say. The survivor through humanity. Whereas one race, people with a common color nationality, will be considered a third dynamic. All the races of man, humanity together will be considered the fourth dynamic. You got that? That's the fourth dynamic. So in the third dynamic, you're talking about your nation, your people, common nationality. But in the fourth dynamic, you have what called humanity, the races of all men, right? Together will be considered the fourth dynamic. Okay? The fifth dynamic is the urge to survive for any and every form of life. This would include all living things, whether animal or plant. All living things, right? For example, fish, dogs, cats, lion, grass, trees, flowers, even insects, they're all parts of your fifth dynamic. All parts of your fifth dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Okay. The sixth dynamic is the urge of the person to improve the survival of the physical universe. Okay? The urge of the person to improve the survival of the physical universe. Okay? For example, taking care of your clothes, your shoes, your house, your car, your school, office, someone else's possessions, all are part of the action of you surviving on the sixth dynamic. Okay? You can see that dynamic come to play, and you can see where other people lack this urge, this survival skill, this urge. So in the sixth dynamic, people don't care for your clothes, your shoes. They don't care for the house, your car. You know what I mean? You don't have any type of respect for a person's possessions. You lacking on this sixth dynamic. But being part of the sixth dynamic is that urge of the person to improve the survival of the physical universe. Physicality, I think, tangible things. Now, the seventh dynamic can be called the spiritual dynamic. And remember, spiritual, when I talk of spirit, spiritus, talking about breath, I'm talking about character and personality. It is the urge to survive as a spiritual being. You know, a person that's invested in bettering and enhancing their character and their personality. It's the urge for life itself to survive. It's developing that character personality that urges you, right, to survive, to urge for life itself as we know it to survive. This is separate from the physical universe, and it is the source of life itself. This is the subsisting, the submerged existing, we call, right? The spiritual, that emerge existing. It's not tangible, but it's intangible. You know what I'm saying? On the spiritual level. We can go deep into further. Now let's talk about the eighth dynamic. The eighth dynamic is that dynamic that is most commonly discussed. It's discussed as the creator. The dynamic of, for lack of a better term, God, or the one supreme being. There are many gods, but one supreme being in nature itself. The all creative spirit, that character person that created everything, that is the all creative, that expansion. It is the earth torso, the existence of infinity. Right? Infinity. Now, the eighth dynamic includes all your goals of survival. It includes all. Like when they say you could love something, you could be in love with something, but are you in love? Because when you in love, there are 12 forms of love that was broken down to us by a master teacher. 12 forms of love. Well, one day I'm going to present that. You can have love for your nation, love for your tongue, love for your mate, love this. But when you in love, all those loves, it can exist all at one time. That's when you're in love, right? Same thing here. You know what I'm saying? Includes all your goals for survival. So you have all these dynamics, but when you get to the eighth dynamic, it includes all of it, all the things that you survive for. And that's the eighth dynamic. Yeah. A person is trying to survive one way or another. And all of these dynamics at once. The dynamics can be shown as a series of circles with the first dynamic at the center. And then you got the person expands outward as he begins to survive on the other dynamics in life. Okay? So this is, I'm reading from you from these part of these lessons. You know what I'm saying? Part of these lessons. And I'm just going to read you one more thing, and then we're going to leave it. And for those who are interested in these courses, and we'll go through this. Let me see, what time is it? Okay, 2:43. Let me go back here. Okay, here we go. Survival and your dynamics. I'm reading these articles from these lessons. This is a precursor, a prerequisite. You know, I'm reading these articles. You know what I'm saying? And this is all part of the dynamics of existence. This one, article number 2:1, is called Survival and Your Dynamics. So I'm just going to read this verbatim, right? By inspection of man himself, every person seems to have an urge for survival on each one of the dynamics. For example, someone can be interested in the survival of groups. That's the third dynamic. Just as much as he is interested in his own survival, which is the first dynamic. He might love to exercise and keep his body fit just as much as he enjoys working hard to help his football team win the game. You get it? So all these dynamics are interchangeable and they're working together. As soon as you get rid of or knock out one of the dynamics, a person begins to experience trouble. Let me read that again. As soon as you get rid of or you knock out one of the dynamics, a person begins to experience trouble. For example, if a person is not allowed to be part of any team or group, which is the third dynamic, he might start to feel he is not wanted. And his first dynamic becomes less. See? He does less and less to help his family. And that, the second dynamic, also suffer. And so it goes on like an avalanche, an effect, you know? All of these dynamics get smaller. So we can see that if something happens to lessen the survival of one dynamic, it can affect the other dynamics also, too. If you hurt yourself or end up in the hospital, thus harming the survival of your first dynamic, then you could possibly lose your job and no longer be part of your work group. That's the third dynamic. You could then also lose your paycheck and have a large doctor bill. And that could mean the family has less money to spend on clothing, food, and shelter. That's your second dynamic. The whole package of all 8 dynamics is vital to the survival of any person. The whole package. Those 8 dynamics. Vital to the survival of any person. In today's society, people are educated to believe that man thinks for himself alone. Some people have to be forced, whipped, beaten, educated to even have the third dynamic. They have to be jailed. They have to be sent to school. They have to be punished, fined, taxed, or made to vote. People can think of all these things have to be done just to make a person have a third dynamic. See that? It is the same way with the fourth dynamic, which is mankind or humanity. Have you ever known anyone who thought only dogs were man's best friend and that his fellow man was no good? This person is concentrating only on the fifth dynamic, which is fish, dogs, and cats, lion, grass, and trees, and flowers, etc. It will be all right for the person to continue to have these ideas, but only until that idea fails, as it is not true. For example, say the person got very sick one day and asked his cat and dog to help him get well. See? But of course they can't. And the person asking the animals for help fails. He then has to go to the hospital and get other people to help him survive. It is not true that any one of the 8 dynamic is more important than the other. One is not more important than the other. They're all part of the overall game of life, the game of survival in life. However, it will be found among various people that each person puts more attention on one and more of the dynamics than the others. For example, a musician might put almost all his attention on practicing day and night, 7 days a week, and try to become the best violin player in the world, paying no attention to his families and friends. These other dynamics suffer and will cause him problems, trouble. I know that personally as a musician. I've seen it happen to a lot of musicians. The whole reason for having the dynamic divided into 8 urges is to increase your understanding and overstanding of life by dividing it into parts. So we can get this understanding when you divide them into parts and examine each one of those urges. Having divided life in this way, each part can be inspected by itself and inspected to see how it works with others. As your overstanding and understanding of them grows, you're better able to survive well among all of these dynamics when you start seeing. And to my brother, Vaya Sandro, Alex Hansu is listening. That's like the nature speaks about this, right? When you get to know the whole supreme being, all places, person, places, and thing. These are practical exercise. These are practical compartments in furthering these studies that we do. That's why I'm going to do more on the nature also. And maybe have the brother Hansu help me out. Come on here and help me out also. So as an example of this, take a baby who is not aware beyond the first dynamic, the self dynamic, when he is born. But as a child grows and becomes interested in more things, he can be seen to start to survive on other dynamics. He learns that his family is a group and that he has a group of friends, the third dynamic, and then he goes to school and learn about other people living in the country and becomes aware of humanity, which is the fourth dynamic. He learns about animals and insects, fifth dynamic, and now owns a dog and bird as a pet, and so on. As a counter example of this, consider a person who is not capable of living well on the third dynamic, That means a group dynamic, and does not like being a part of a team. Someone like this is looked as not having a social existence. He lives his life by himself and is not part of any group with anybody, any others. So how do you act so as to operate successfully along all of these dynamics? The way to do this is to learn how to survive. The way to do this is to learn how to survive the best you can on each of the dynamics. Together, the 8 dynamics all adds up to your survival in life. So that was a question. So how do you act so as to operate successfully along all of these dynamics? Well, the way is to learn how to survive the best you can on each of the dynamics. Together, the 8 dynamics all adds up to your survival in life. That is just number 2. There's so much more that we can go into. You know what I'm saying? Let's see something here. Okay, it's 2:51 because I want to do the chant. And when you the chants are important also for me anyway, and for all of us, because it affirming yourself. It's taking all these dynamics and affirming it, as a whole. Yeah. Very, very, very important. So, I suggest, this is a good study. It's a good study. Just get on my email. I'll send you the site, and you do these courses, and you take the tests, and you get your certificate. Give you something to read. Share it with your family, man. Let's better this humanity, this experience that we have. Again, all those dynamics. And for the sake, this is in this school of thought, 8 and 9, but I'm sure this could be broken into much more. I mean, when you start reading the nature of nature, it starts breaking it more. The nature of nature puts your mind in order. You know what I'm saying? It makes you aware of these things. This type of information, what it's going to do is going to put it in practical terms. It's going to break it into compartments, and it's going to put it in practical terms. And there is so many information out there that, that are compartmentalized out there that can help you. You know what I'm saying? That can help you in achieving your goals. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's all about bettering the humanity, Let me see, it's almost that time. Let me get my chant out ready. Get my chant ready here. So, I should bring it up on the screen as I'm doing it. This chant, I already do the first part of the chant, so I don't get into the rest of it. Let's see if I share the screen. Share this. Let me see what I can do here. Bring this down. Hopefully it's still there. Yeah, here's the chant. Getting ready to do this in 6 more minutes. So let me just continue on here. You should be able to see that. Yeah, you did see that. Okay. Let me just continue here. Let me stop screen right now. Well, let me just do this. So yeah. So in speaking about these, skills. These are skills. These are 19 courses, and these are skills. It's important to share it with families and groups. It's important to share this knowledge, you know what I'm saying, as you can see. Because they help us, again, realize certain things, put our mind in awareness. Because by no means my life is perfect. There's so many things that I have to achieve in my life, you know what I'm saying, and so many things that I go through. But these 19 courses are helping me understand, and also revisiting the nature and nature is helping me understand things, so that it's to give me more to enhance that character, personality, to enhance those urges to survive, those urges to survive. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important. I thank everybody for watching. My brother-in-law, Jose, Aruhu, Sandro, also Bondor. Yes, what's up? Alex Rivera, I got to give you a wrench. Give you a wrench. And I don't, as you can see, I don't get a lot of views, people to come on. I guess the time, and I don't know, but it's not that. The thing is, the information gets out there, the message gets out, and later on when I look back, I see more people gets on the podcast. They view it. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay more attention to that and do a little more marketing. I feel that, I don't know, it's important to me, this information. I feel that if I would have had the opportunity to know a lot of things earlier, I wouldn't have made a lot of mistakes that I made in life. You know what I'm saying? But then again, no regrets. No regrets. You also learn by those mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But now, the most important time is now. You're seeing now. You're at this time now. And again, having that affinity, having that urge for your future generations, and knowing and giving them the tools that they need also in the future to survive is very important. You know what I'm saying? Because this is just acknowledging these dynamics. But then how do you, when you get to know these dynamics, then what steps are you taking every day to strengthen that urge, to strengthen that connection with those dynamics? That's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Certain skills. Some brothers reading is very important. You know what I'm saying? Studying about these different skills is very, very, very important. I want to get into the chant. Got 3 more minutes. Let me get it ready. Get it ready for you. I don't know why I stopped sharing. Let me see. Let me go back. I wish people would have had questions and stuff, but I see that, I don't know. Here we go. What? There we go. Let me look back over here, and I'm getting to see that I have the chant up. This is the chant. Let me see if I can bring it up more. There you go. Okay. Pa Tak Yud. And I've been doing some music, adding music and using the chants and the tones. I've been putting what they call the conventional tones of the different energy center. And I've been working with that. I showed it before. And so that I can gain certain type of tonality, when I recite these chants. You know what I'm saying? To give it, again, a character and personality with these tones. I'm very huge on tones. So, let me see. What time is it? It's 2:50. We got 1 more minute. But that's okay. We're right there. Pa Tak Yud. The affirmation. This is to affirm in ourselves. Okay, it reads from right to left, but I'm gonna read the English. Of it. I'm going to do the Sabiic. This is the Sabiic language. This is Saba, and if you notice, this Sabian language Saba. Also, there's language in the Mande that has some of these scripts in the Mande and Paleo Hebrew and so on, so you can make this connection. But this is the Sabian language, one of the first language, first writing, apart from the Metanetta, the hieroglyphics that was found in the Nile Valley. There's very ancient stones that have this writing, and a lot of this writing was were when our ancestors looked to the stars and they charted out the stars and stuff, they formed glyphs. And that glyphs became part of their language. They put tones to it. There's a whole big science on that, man. We're going to break that down one day. You know, there's some brothers out here writing books on that right now, and they're doing all the research, and they share with me, and that's great. And so, you know, this is that particular glyphs, and this is that particular. The tones might be different, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we're learning. Okay? Anu kija with pa ashuk impact out. I am in the divine love. I am in the divine love of the all expanding pa out. Wukale ashuk kawunja with niya. And all divine love is in me. Anuki kwasa impact. I am part of the all expanding. Wupapaut kawum kwasa niya. And the all expanding is part of me. Anuki wahu me papaut. I am one as the all expanding. Wupapaut kawum wahu me niya. And the all expanding is one as me. Nakuk kador naja me kwasaum impact. I can see as part of the all expanding. Wo habab me mushras and fail as an individual person. Right? Nakukador kawon kale pafaf nakuk dayor jawef papaut. I can be all that I want in the all expanding. Ame wasa ame dayar ni kawun lake bakai jawef papaut. As long as my want is to stay in the all expanding. Anuki jabe bi nafashni. I'm never by myself. Nafashni, by myself. Bi nafashni, by myself. Papaut kawung anuki. The all expanding is the all expanding. Paut is I am anuki. Papa kador nakuk kador. The all expanding can, I can. Papaot amul nakuk almul. The all expanding does, I do. And that's all I'm gonna chant right now. Recite for now. But I wanted just to go back. You say, I am in the divine love. You know what I'm saying? In the divine love. I'm in it so that all those other loves can exist. And then all those love are an expansion. Just like the cosmos expand, so also my heart. Abab. Ibab. Abba. Ibab. Expands. Paut. The all divine love is in me. All that divine love, that ashuk, that divine caring, that's in me. I am part of that all expanding. I am space, matter, and time. I am a matter, a molecule. In this container of space around me, I am that space and matter. And the connection, relationship is time. I'm all of that. I'm aging at the same time. I'm traveling distantly, and I'm acknowledging the relationship between matter and space. In order for you to have matter is anything that occupies space. Right? Space is that vacuum. When we look at it, that space is that vacuum. Our molecules, the atoms, everything has space. It's in a container called space, all the all expanding, that's part of me. That's part of me. The Paut. The Dogons say Pau. Pau. The Dogons taught this. And they say Pau. And the Dogons in Mali. So this all expanding, that's part of me. I am one with the all expanding. Anuki Wahu. One. Meh. Pa Paut. I am one as the all expanding. The cosmos, man. I connect with that. You know what I'm saying? That's part of our genetics. That's part. We start stuff, right? But we're in space, a vacuum. When you acknowledge that, so you can expand, your heart expands, your love expands, your caring expands, your knowledge expands. It's an expansion. You're expanding in knowledge. You're expanding in wisdom. You're expanding in caring. You know, and all the expanding is one as me. So when we take that expanding, that word, we can, in other words, the ocean, and you're the drop of the ocean, but in that drop is the whole ocean. Same thing. And I can succeed as part of the all expanding. How can I not succeed? I have to succeed as part of the all expanding. You know? And as long as my one is to stay in the all expanding, I want to stay learning. I want to stay in this expansion of humanity. There's immense humanity. There's immense cosmetology. Cosmology. You know? I'm never by myself. Never by myself. Because everything is around me. You know, all the dynamics are within me. All those urges are in me, and it wants to expand. There's all expanding is, I am. The all expanding can, man, I can. All expanding does, I do. You know? So we keep it expanding. Real talk. Let me get out of here. Yeah. Just looking back at to see if there's any comments. No comments. Okay, no comments. All right. I hope I didn't lose anybody and gone so into another world. But anyway, you know, just sharing with you, you know, character, personality, just sharing, like I said, expanding. Again, you know, that's my email. Hit me up if you're interested in these 19 courses. Because let me tell you something, with these 19 courses, and if you want to be part of this the group, and you want to be part of, to make this change in humanity and work with the African Federation, there's also, if you get into a certain position, there is salary. As a crown ambassador, there's salary. There is opportunity. Let's say you're a person that like to help your community, and you want to set certain initiatives and programs and stuff, you could take it to the Federation. You know what I'm saying? And as an ambassador, you have a salary, and you know what I'm saying? Your living quarters become an embassy. So much that can be done if that's what you want to do, or if you just want to be a contributor. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for people to help. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially my Hispanic brothers and sisters got to get on board, man. What's going on, man? What's going on? Jamaica's it's on fire right now. Trinidad on fire. You know, the people in Jamaica are different. The people in Trinidad are different. They're on this. They know about this. And Trinidad, especially because the Kasambu Ra, the Imperial Majesty Kasamu Ra, Queen of Sheba III, she was born in Trinidad. She's one of the only first monarch, a queen that was born outside of Africa. Outside, and it was destined to be like that. So she was born in Trinidad. And she got family in all the Caribbeans, in Puerto Rico, Haiti, you know, especially in Puerto Rico from the family Rivera. Check that out, Alex. Rivera. I'm a Rivera also through my grandmother, Rivera. And so that's a very prominent family in the island of Borinquen. You know what I'm saying? And she's tied back into that. She gave me a whole rundown on that. And I was like, wow, interesting. And so, you know, and this is what I got to say, you know, yes, we all kings and queens, you know, but not, you know, if you want to call yourself kings and queens, that's important. But this is the thing, how it was broken down to me, and I hope this makes sense. It's definitely going to make sense to you. That, you see, I look like my mom's, right? And my mother looked like my father. I mean, her father. So I look like my mother, right? I got characteristic of my mother, right? Female characteristic. She has characteristic of her father, right? And he has characteristic of his mother, right? If someone wants to come in and replace that, they can't, because that's genetically sanctioned. That's genetically set, right? Same thing with these kingdoms in Africa. It's genetically set. You know what I'm saying? So there is a line of succession. So we all come under the queendom of the south of what we call Nubia, Mali, Nubia, the Congo, in that area. That lineages, that queendom, those lineages of kingdoms, 7 to be exact, spread out into the Caribbean, South America and the Caribbean. But there are lines of succession, you know what I'm saying, lineage. So we come under that. We come under that queendom, what they call the Queen of the South, you know, from that area in Sudan. That's what we call us the Sabians, Sudan, Mali, Congo, Benin, in that whole area, the southern part and the southern part of what they call the mid part and the southern part of Africa. That's our DNA, genetics, and lineage come through. Yeah. So sure, there are monarchs, like for instance, Noble Ali was considered the 5th Marquis, and King Louis, he come from the lineage of the King Louis, the French, you know, Noble Ali. So there was a succession of lineages that came by that way. We understand that, and that is true. But in terms of Africa, the lineage of Africa is different than the lineage of the French, right? We're talking about Africa lineage. You know what I'm saying? An unbroken genetic lineage coming directly from Africa. So therefore, all of this Caribbean and even the Western Hemisphere comes under the Queen of the South. When you look at it, you know what I'm saying? Something to look into. You know what I'm saying? So by no means I'm telling anybody, you know, this is perfectly done. What's up, my brother? Tony! Hey, listen, Happy New Year to everybody. La parranda, ¿dónde está la parranda? So, we all come from this. Even our brothers and sisters. And those lineages also spread out to the Iberian Peninsula. With the tribes traveling into the sub-Sahara and the Berbers, and those lineages travel into the even to the Iberian Peninsula. You know, these lineages travel because there were also ambassadors, dignitaries traveling in ancient times, traveling to other parts, even in England, in Iberian Peninsula, which is Portugal and Spain. You know what I'm saying? Into Italy, Sicily. There's lineages there. You know what I'm saying? So this is all part of it. All part of it. It's what they call the African Union. You know what I'm saying? So this is a lot of works that's been revealed now with dealing with genetics. So again, you know, if you're interested in these 19 courses, just hit me up on my email, and we'll go over it. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you the site, and you go over it. You know what I'm saying? So 19 courses, you get a certificate. And then if you want to present with a photo and your certificate to the Confederation, and then they take that into consideration. They'll take you into consideration. And like I said, this is a World Peace Committee from the United Nations. It's sanctioned by the United Nations also. You know what I'm saying? 202 countries. You know what I'm saying? And they sit over 202 countries. You know what I'm saying? Giving, there's also a involvements in cryptocurrency. There's a certain coin that's available, the Lumi. There's certain, again, your gender. There's allocated money, world money, gold, world monies, resources from Africa. Africa is one of the richest resources there is. So there's a lot of things coming, you know what I'm saying, because the European Union has suffered a lot, with this whole pandemic and stuff, had really, chopped up the economics and stuff like that. And empire rises, empire falls, you know what I'm saying? So now all the kingdoms and queendoms are getting together and forming, hopefully another empire rises, or just to form. At the end of the day, is business as usual. Business as usual. You know what I'm saying? Marketing, business as usual, markets, resources as usual, and the development of different, tribes, and development of different countries. And the most important thing is the upliftment, the betterment of humanity. Imagine if imagine those beings that are in the cosmos, another planet that has life in it, looking down at us and seeing all the wars and seeing how we treat each other and this and that. They're probably looking back saying like, well, we've been through that. We graduated from that. They're waiting on humanity to make that ascension. But if when you read on the 19 courses, there's a small percentage, like 20% of humanity that are suppressive personality that are keeping a lot of things down. You know what I'm saying? And we got to heal that. We got to get it, Yeah. So anyway, I'll leave you there. I'm sure people got things to do. Thank you everybody who was able to come on. And again, after the new year, happy new year to everybody, the Gregorian year, Masonic year, have a happy one. You know what I'm saying? If that's how you get down, you know what I'm saying? Happy to you. And for this next round, I'm gonna discuss about these 19 courses and go over and over, just to scratch the surface and give you certain things. I'm not gonna give you a whole course, you know what I'm saying? But just to give that, and also emails and get names and say, hey, listen, if you're interested on walking this walk, you know what I'm saying, with me, then come on, let's do it. Let's make it happen. Let's create this initiative. Let's create these programs. Let's create a better world for our children. You know what I'm saying? Let's that urge again. What is that? The third dynamic? Urge of family. You know what I'm saying? The future generation. You know what I'm saying? Let's build on that. So that the other dynamics would grow. You know what I'm saying? Humanity, everything. You know what I'm saying? Ourselves. The first dynamic is ourselves, our survival of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also going to introduce a lot in these podcasts, introduce the doctrine, the nature of nature, which a lot of President Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, a lot of Eddie Murphy, a lot of celebrities have read this and have changed their life. When you read the nature of nature, you're going to walk different. You're going to think different. People are going to see you differently. And then when you get into the 19 courses and they see you actually practicing what you know, that's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's going to be mistakes made along the way. But as long as we got the right goals, the right initiative, the right goals that we want to achieve, let's achieve it. Let's go step by step and achieve it, man. So I'm willing to make that walk. Listen, I'm just going to be walking whatever and see, you're walking with us. And at the same time, honoring great men that came before us. Abisu Campos, some great men, great generals too. Colin Powell, which passed away, great General Patton. You know what I'm saying? Men of statures and abilities, you know what I'm saying, that has shaped the world in some ways or another. You know what I'm saying? And, great men to come through us. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? You name it. Some might even say Trump. Hey, listen, yo, you gotta have time with people's differences. If that's what you want to grow with, hey, that's what you want to roll. Just like this. Give it the touchstone of positivity. Make sure that whatever is being said and done is for the betterment of all humanity. That if you can vibe on that and the 8 dynamic, and then putting all those dynamic as one, if you're able to vibe on that and make that grow, all in expanding, Papa Ut, then bro, then you're okay. I don't care who you resonate with. You can't resonate with Hitler if you want, hey, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you can prove to me that that's gonna better and it's gonna make you think differently, it's gonna make you a better person, make you more connect with humanity, then by all means, rock with it. Rock with it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's making you a better person. You know? It's what's having tolerance for people's differences, man. That's morals and ethics. Anyway, peace and blessing to you all. And I'm out. Let me do my outro again, yo. My outro. I gotta get busy with my script. I gotta get busy. And that's what I'll probably spend the rest of my day. It's just going over and, you know, rewriting and redoing things. But one of these days I'm gonna read. I used to do this before and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna read you some of my script. You know, some of the scenes, you know, and read it and narrate some of the scenes. Okay, peace.